Well, I've got some filters for you. A Japanese damaged Amazon lubricated in the package, sealed Subaru oil filter. This one I pulled packaging off already just so I can kind of take a look at it. And to begin with, I'm not super impressed. These are for the same vehicle, compatible with each other. The Japanese one is much heavier. This looks like just a standard, everyday, manufacturer filter. Nothing too crazy, nothing special about it. Let's pop them open. Okay, this is a Fram filter. I can tell you right away. It's got a cardboard end cap. It has a Fram design anti-drain back valve. It has the same Fram bypass valve in the bottom, identical to it. It's got a cardboard end on both ends. Got a lot of pleats. I mean, I do have to give them that. They do have a fair amount of pleats in this, and it looks like a fairly good filter overall. But the American-made Subaru one is a Fram filter. There's a place for all this stuff, guys. I'm not going to talk bad about them anymore. It is a cheap filter. I would say this is probably good for about 3,000 miles and would have to be changed. It's not a 5,000 mile plus filter, I can tell you that. It's not anything I would feel comfortable with. It's not like I don't do this every single day. It's my profession, but can is standard, typical, flexible can. I mean, nothing too... Doesn't seem like it's too cheap, actually. It's got a little strength to it. The end, I can only see like 3 full threads inside here, and pretty decent design overall, I would say. O-ring is a little dry. This looks like your standard rubber O-ring, nothing too crazy. Alright, let's pop open the Japanese one now. Really surprised with as sophisticated or finicky as the Subarus can be. They have some very nice vehicles for them to use a cheap filter like that. This black Subaru from Japan filter is so much heavier. Feels like there's like so much more meat to it. That's one of the first indications right there, is like, you seen how when I cut that, it all pretty much just came apart at one time? I noticed the cheaper made filters, they don't do that. They keep fighting you because they're so flexible and stuff like that. The ones that are nicer made, I can almost get one full turn when it starts to cut, and that's it. It's a decent, nice weighted end cap, about the same weight it seems as the other one, even though it's it'd be slightly larger. It's got nice width to the thread area. I can see at least four full threads inside the housing, so definitely already more contact area than the American-made Subaru one. So I would just right off the bat choose this filter first. Actually, even though this is rubber, it looks very durable. It's a very nice look. It's got a very nice feel to it. This is kind of dry and flaky and super thin. This here feels very thick and very strong. It's got a lot of spring back to it. So definitely a very nice anti-drain back valve in this filter. Wow, the gasket is the gasket to pull out on the Subaru one is a little bit more, the Japan one is a little bit more difficult. It seems like they have it locked into the end of it, like the groove here on the edges. It's a little bit deeper the way it goes in. So, I mean, a lot of pleats. A lot of pleats in this filter. And they use a resin that's full all the way to the top almost, where the pleats go in. It's got standard style bypass valve, but I'm just super surprised that resin it's so thick all the way around. It's strong too. Seems like this material is stronger. Yeah, the Japanese Subaru filter is by far superior to the American-made Subaru filter. It's just so chintzy and cheap. It looks like your standard $3 or $4 frame. It's so easy to tear apart. It doesn't really fight you at all. But when you look at like the Japanese filter, the black filter, it's very strong. It's got a very strong bypass valve in it. It's got a nice weighted end. The anti-feedback diaphragm is very, very nice. The O-ring on the outside of it where it makes contact with the filter housing, it's actually a much more superior filter than the American-made blue Subaru filter. So if I had to choose, I would definitely choose the Japanese-made Subaru filter. Guys, that's just my review. You asked me to look at these, and all this is just a repackaged frame filter. It's just a cheap cardboard end cap filter. This would be my pick right here by far. It's a very good filter. It looks like it's very well built, and it looks like they took the time to put the technology into this one. So it's the reason why they're better at these than the American-made cheap ones. There's the leaf spring in the bottom. It's pretty strong. And the can, it's much stronger than the American-made Subaru. It's much stronger. You can see the difference in the thickness of this can. It's super thin, and then when you look at this can, it's got like twice the amount of thickness to it. It's noticeable just by looking at it to see that's quite a bit thicker. That explains why it was so easy to just cut right through it, because it's a stronger can. It's a stronger filter. Thanks, guys.